Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees having themselves an interesting day. Dropped the second game to the Mets, technically losing as part one of the Subway Series a la 2022. But some good news towards the end there. News comes down that the Yankees have made a trade, picking up all-star outfielder Andrew Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals. So he will definitely be a welcome addition to the Yankees. He's not really a power guy, but again, his high batting average right now hitting 320. Much needed for the Yankees, who just don't have enough contact situational hitting. I mean, it's been better this year than compared to years in the past, but you just see the hole in the bat with Gallo as well, even Hicks struggling. And then, of course, now with Giancarlo Stanton on the IL with dealing with the Achilles issue for a while, really much needed, just a little shot in the arm. Again, because the Yankees, if you just look at this Subway Series, and we'll get into it, 0 for 15, both games combined with runners in scoring position. Can't get a big hit when they needed to. And, of course, yes, you can blame some of the regulars, but also, of course, the Gallos and Hickses of the world, didn't help either. And, again, someone like a Benintendi in some of those spots definitely would have came through for the Yankees. So we'll get into both games as well as the Benintendi deal, all the ramifications of that. But first, if you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So if you're listening right now, wherever you're listening to it, I'm sure there's a follow and or subscribe button, some of that nature. Hit that and get notified when new content comes up throughout the week. Multiple episodes come up throughout the week, so you want to catch all that. So, as mentioned before, Benintendi, again, all-star this year with the Kansas City Royals, and through 93 games, hitting 320, as I mentioned, 14 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 39 RBIs. So not really a power guy, but again, the Yankees have plenty of power. They just need more contact hitting. And again, the Yankees have had that this season just with the addition of Trevino and IKF and so forth, but been a little sluggish there, of course, with Gallo, Hicks, and a little bit Donaldson you could blame there as well a little bit, but mainly Gallo and Hicks there. And this is looking at his resume. Again, I'm sure Yankee fans are already familiar with him. He spent a number of years with the Red Sox, was part of the 2018 championship Red Sox, so he got a little playoff and World Series experience has always helped. Was a Gold Glover last year, so you're getting some great defense, and I know Gallo's a Gold Glover too, so if this means Gallo's out the door, at least you're not really losing quality in terms of defense. And so far this season, 88 starts, no errors for Benintendi. Now, the little bugaboo about him is that, and this came up not too long ago, is that he's not vaccinated. So there was a recent trip with the Kansas City Royals. We're going to visit Toronto, and Benintendi, obviously not being vaccinated, Canada has very strict laws, wasn't able to go in there. So it doesn't seem like anything is changing. Now, the Yankees do go to Toronto one more time this season in September, but if it's a situation where he can't make the travel, I don't think it's a big deal. At that point, if you're really struggling for those games for the Yankees, that's probably really bad news. I mean, the Yankees right now got 11 and a half, game lead over Toronto, who right now jumped into second place there. But I know the Yankees have been sputtering a little bit, not really having a great July overall. But it's hard to foresee a situation where the Yankees are going to completely crash and then need those games by September. So most likely those September games will be meaningless. So if he can't make the trip, so be it. Shouldn't be a big deal. And of course, the Royals will receive 3 pitching prospects from the Yankees: so Chandler Champlain, left-handed pitcher T.J. Sakima, and right-handed pitcher Beckway, and Champlain also a right-handed pitcher. So 3 pitching prospects. Who knows with these guys? It might be something, might be nothing, but I think it seems like a pretty good deal for the Yankees to pick up someone with Benintendi's quality and not really have to give away any big chips like a Jason Dominguez, for example, like that. Not that I don't think the Yankees would consider doing that. And if you look at Benintendi, he's right. As I mentioned before, the Yankees kind of been sputtering a little bit. Again, with Giancarlo Stanton now and Judge, even though Judge was great during that Baltimore series, but overall has been clean, a little fatigueness as well. And you see the team maybe just a little sluggish, and you get to August here and the dog's days of summer. Some of the Benintendi coming from the Royals team that was 20 games under 500, kind of going nowhere. I'm sure he's excited now to be part of this team that's looked like on the way to at least going deep into the playoffs. So it's a little shot in the arm for the team. It just kind of reminds me when the Yankees picked up David Justice back in 2000 from the Cleveland Indians. Again, that Yankee team, I think they ended up at 87 wins, so they didn't have a great regular season, but we still had all the championship guys there and everything, but they were kind of sluggish a little bit that final championship year, and it seemed like David Justice kind of gave them a lift. I mean, all the Yankees, like Paul O'Neill said, that his presence did help the team just kind of give them a little boost, which, again, I think this Yankee team needs a little now. Again, they're down now a little bit, losing Michael King, which I detailed, and Giancarlo Stanton on the DL, and not having a great July, so much welcome addition. So Benintendi, part of the New York Yankees, and ironically enough, the Yankees get right to work right away, hosting these same Kansas City Royals. So Kansas City coming to town. Tyone will get the start there. But it's just funny now, Benintendi's first game is against his former team. So we'll see the situation if he's even in the lineup or not. But it's kind of ironic that he's playing his former team right away. So game one, game two, first of all, the matchups going into this, you really like the Yankees' chances. First of all, they're in Citi Field. And I know now you have the DH, so you don't have to worry about the pitcher hitting. But still, you're on the road. And I don't like these pitching matchups. I mean, Jordan Montgomery versus Tawana Walker. And, of course, the second game, Domingo Germán versus Matt Scherzer. So both games, you're almost looking towards the Mets having the advantage there. If the Yankees were going to win one of those games, you figure it was going to be the game with Montgomery versus Walker. That would not be the case. Actually, the closest shot was the Matt Scherzer game. And Domingo Germán, to his credit, kept the Yankees in there close. Did better than you would think. But, again, not Scherzer, going into that game, it's going to be tough. That they're not going to give him much runs in the Yankee offense. Again, sputtering a little bit. So the first game, the Yankees jumped out ahead early on Walker. Judge and Rizzo went back-to-back, not only back-to-back, but on consecutive pitches with solo home runs. Put the Yankees up 2-0 early on, but the Mets got right on the board right away. And I don't say Monty was sloppy. He just was missing by an inch. He would get out a lot of hitters 0-2, but just couldn't put them away. But the Mets got on the board pretty quickly in the first. Sterling Marte with a solo home run, followed by Pete Alonso with an RBI double. Escobar Lindor tied the game up at that point. And then the Mets went ahead on a Eduardo Escobar 2-run home run up at that point, putting the Mets up 4-2, and the Mets want to look back from there. Now, the Yankees finally made it a little interesting in the fourth inning. DJ LeMahieu up with the bases loaded. Opportunity to really, again, down 5-2, an opportunity to at least, maybe cut the lead to 5-4, or God forbid, put the Yankees ahead 6-5 with a grand slam. You can't expect that, but just had a little weak little ground out to third. So the Yankees were able to scratch across the run there. From there, the Yankee bullpen kind of, held it close there. Just kept the team in the game, but really the Yankees couldn't put anything together. As mentioned before, both games combined, 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Now, in the eighth inning, the Yankees had brought out Albert Abreu. Again, he's probably in there mainly because Michael King's done for the season. And to his credit, now the Mets put 2 runners on with nobody out, and you figure, okay, this is a situation where they're going to put it away. But Abreu got back-to-back strikeouts, so he buckled down there, so good for him. But unfortunately, gave up an RBI single to McNeil. That added an insurance run for the Mets 6-5. That would be your final score. But the Yankees, always to their credit, always make it interesting, no matter what. So now there was one situation here where I gotta really get on Boone's case a little bit before the Abreu appearance. In the top of the eighth, there was a situation where now the Yankees there were 2 outs. Hicks draws a walk with a kind of fluffer up. Now Boone decided to pinch hit Joey Gallo for kind of fluff, and I understand the situation. He figured Gallo's a home run hitter. He could maybe get into one, hit a 2-run home run. That at that point, bring the Yankees. That would have brought the Yankees to 5-4. I know you're looking for the big home run there, but I don't like that move by Boone. I mean, as we know, IKF again, he's not a home run hitter, but a very good contact hitter. Puts the ball in play. I'd rather kept IKF in that situation. Maybe he could get on, then you have 2 runners on, then maybe consider going to a pinch hit or something like that, or whoever's coming after, let them kind of keep the train going. I didn't like the fact, just because Diaz was warming up there, so you knew if they were going to bring out Gallo, Buck Showalter was going to bring out Diaz, and of course, Diaz is having a good season for the Mets. Gallo, he's a strikeout machine. You just did not like that matchup, and of course, what would happen? Gallo's up at the plate, and Diaz struck him out and blew that opportunity there. So I didn't like that call by Boone there, but nevertheless, on to the ninth inning when the Yankees had another opportunity there. Now, Trevino led on with an infield single, was actually able to beat out an infield single. And again, for a catch, he's very speedy, and we've seen him do that a number of times. Now, after that, DJ LeMahieu struck out, which brought up Judge. Now, Judge got on a little kind of weird play. It was kind of a little chop it back to the pitcher. Now, Diaz picked it up and tried to throw it to first, but he threw it, his arm made the motion to throw, but the ball slipped out of his hand. So the Yankees got a break there, and you kind of think, is this going to be a little Yankee magic here? You got 2 runners on, and a situation where now a 3-run home run could tie the game with Rizzo and Gleyber Torres coming up. An opportunity to do that, but unfortunately Diaz would strike both of them out, and the Yankees would take the 6-3 loss, and Diaz getting out of the jam there. So again, the Yankees made it interesting, but unfortunately couldn't come to, which then brought the Yankees to game 2, which again, if you're dropping that first game, you're faced with having to beat Matt Scherzer, which is asking a lot. And again, to Domingo Germán's credit, he did, at least keep the Yankees relatively close, but again, him in the bullpen just wasn't enough. So Mets got on the board early, second inning. Pete Alonso with a solo home run put the Mets up 1-0, and then Lindor added in the third inning an RBI single, put the Mets up 2-0 at that point. And Scherzer was cruising along pretty much. Now the Yankees a couple of times, had some situations in the third and the sixth and the seventh with a couple of runners on, but again, just could not get that big hit. It was just frustrating both of these games. Before overall, Scherzer, good strong start for him. 7 innings pitched total, only surrendering 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, including striking out Judge 3 times. And again, when a couple situations went on, but Judge had enough to do something there, but Scherzer got him to strike out. The Yankees finally got on the board in the 8th inning with Gleyber Torres. So after the Showalter took out Scherzer, David Peterson in there with the 2-0 lead. Gleyber Torres with a 2-run home run, finally putting the Yankees on the board and tying that game at 2-2. Then into the 9th inning, unfortunately, this is where the Mets had the walk-off win. So Eduardo Escobar, who killed the Yankees in the first game, led off the 9th inning against Wandy Peralta with a double. Now Nito sacrificed him over, so now he's on third base. Brandon Nimmo come up. Now Brandon Nimmo had an infield hit, but unfortunately it was still, wasn't far enough, from the pitcher or the catcher for Escobar to score from third. Again, right at that point, you only have 1 out. You're running on third. You don't want to make out there, so it wasn't enough for Escobar to score there. But then Sterling Marte came up next, and he just had a clean single to left field, and of course Escobar was able to moonwalk in for the walk-off win for the Mets, and the Mets win the game, exciting fashion for them, 3-2. And again, the Yankees had dropped both games now to the Mets, again, in this first installment of the 2022 Subway Series. So, again, the Yankees dust themselves off a little bit there. I'm going to say these are excruciating, heartbreaking losses. Again, the first game is kind of like, you're kind of out of it, and you fought back a little bit, but you just couldn't get that big hit. This game, you really felt like you didn't have a chance against Scherzer, but they kind of kept it close, which you figure like the Yankees do against Pedro Martinez. If they could just keep the game close enough, maybe you could scratch a couple of runs against the bullpen, what the Yankees kind of did, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Again, the Yankees weren't able to keep the Mets down into the bottom 9th inning there. But the good news now, Andrew Benintendi, now a New York Yankee. So right now, probably near term, you'll probably see a situation of Benintendi in left, Judge in center, and maybe a platoon situation of Gallo and Hicks in right. And again, Benintendi, if he keeps hitting, ideally, when Giancarlo Stanton comes back, you can have now Stanton in right, Judge in center, and Benintendi in left field. So it's probably going to cost some playing time for Hicks and Gallo, of course. And of course, maybe it just seems like Gallo now, his days are numbered here, just because there's not enough room to go around. But we'll see how that folds out. But good news for the Yankees. They get to host the Kansas City Royals, a team 39-59, 20 games under 500. Again, they've sold off Benintendi, so you probably figure the rest of that team, the vibe and the mood and the morale is pretty low right now, so they probably figured out this is going to play out the rest of the season. So good opportunity for the Yankees to just get a couple of easy wins on the board and kind of get back into their winning ways. So hope you liked the episode. Section 420 Talkin Yankees podcast. Make sure you subscribe and get updated for future episodes. We'll catch you later.